No, I'll leave that closed. Hang on, Bob, I'll give you tweets. You can have a treat. Whoa, there you go. Okay, all right. What's this? What's this button? What's this button do? I don't know. All right. Well, we'll just wait for everybody to come in, or the peoples to come in. La-di-dee, la-di-da, la-di-dee, la-di-da, la-la. Oh my gosh. Maybe I shouldn't have had so much antihistamine. Cuckoo. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. Let's have a look. Oh. Oh, well, that's good. A little bit bad, but what else? Okay. Well, we'll just wait for some more people to come in, and then we'll start. Okay. Ask myself a question. Getting it back together. Well, I suppose that makes sense. The aliens are coming. All right, well, if I'll give it, what, 10, 15? If people don't jump on, then I'll call it. But for the moment, la-di-dee, la-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-dee. Oh, great. Well, I suppose a busy week's a good week. Okay, hi guys. I can see people, I can tell that people are on, but nobody's chatting. If you want a general card pull, literally, yeah, if you want a general card, put down your name and where you're from, just put it in chat, and I'll pull a card for you. Actually, while it's slow, if you've got a question, let me know. Yes. Okay. Okay, Shadow. All right, Shadow, do you have a question, or did you want just a card, or what would you like? Ooh. Ooh, okay. Well, just wait. Okay. Well, you can ask me a question if you want, and I'll give you 3 cards to answer, or I can just do a general, what I'm picking up. I don't know where all my regulars are. Okay. Okay. All right, well, I'll give it 15 minutes if people don't jump on. What's that? Is this gambling? No. No, Shadow, this is a psychic. I'm a psychic. I do psychic readings, the Green Psychic. So you can ask me a question and I can look at it. Hey, Monique, thank you for jumping on. Monique, if you've got a question, let me know. Oh, like, we're off to a very slow start tonight. Okay. It is so hot. Tell me it's not going to be this hot. Temperature's going to come down. Hey, Rickard. Okay. Guys, since it's quiet, if you have questions that you want me to answer, let me know. If you'd prefer a couple of general cards, as in what's ahead for you generally, let me know. Okay. The Centuria role. Could you give me some insight into what Jesse and Michael like to work for? Okay, straight off the bat, Monique, I'm going to tell you good. Excuse me, good energy there. But that's right. Last night you said something about your family being in real estate or something like that. Yeah, I get that you probably want to get out of that and do something different, but for some reason there was a big thing that I was pulling up there. Okay, so look, this overseas travel card, when it's talking about getting to know new people, this is, to me, this is saying that you're going to get into that comfort zone real quick with people. What this is saying that you're getting over very quick is fitting in, getting to know, sort of like getting into the whole situation. Oh, it is a property investment, right? Okay, all right, now I get it. All right, sweet, sweet, sweet. This is saying that you're going to fit in very quickly and going to be, part of the team very quickly. You're going to pick it up very easily. This is getting over any sort of awkwardness or any sort of, oh, I'm new, that whole territory. I feel like you're just going to slip straight in. This transformation card is also talking about that this role is temporary. Now, yes, this could be talking about what I keep saying to you as the next role you get is a stepping stone into something else later on down the track. But this role itself could just be temporary as far as it turns into something else. It's kind of like, I'm sure it's happened to you in your past. It's happened to me. I get hired for one role, and after about a month, they're like, okay, you're overqualified. We want to offer you this role, which is higher up, more money, and blah, blah, blah. And that's what I feel like, that this role, it's going to transform into a different role. And I want to say a different sector. So it's doing something different outside of what you're applying for. And I actually feel like that you'd be like, oh my God, this is such an opportunity. This is awesome. There's not actually an opportunity card here, although that's what this is alluding to. But that's what I feel like it is. It's turning into a bigger opportunity. Okay. So this pregnancy card is, there's something, there's something underway here. Again, this is a stepping stone. The job itself is a stepping stone overall for you to find something that you're really into. But I actually think that there's a secondary role that will come with this one where it actually allows advancement within the company, within the same job, but into a different job role. And that's what the pregnancy card is saying. It's not going to happen straight away, but it's going to happen pretty quick, like within the first 6 months of having the job. I feel like that they're going to be like, oh, well, would you be interested in doing this? Or there might actually be an internal job that comes up that you're like, okay, I would prefer to be doing that. And they're like, oh, okay, well, look, we're happy to put you forward. It's easier to replace you in this role than it is to find somebody to do the higher role. And by that time, you will have proven yourself. So that's a really good thing. So yeah, like if you go with this job, if if it gets offered to you and you take it, I personally would be jumping for joy, because it's one of those situations where, you might be, oh, okay, this is a job. Great. That's how I wanted you thinking of it, so that you could think clearly about your future once you have a job. But this job specifically, I actually feel like it's going to tick more of your boxes than you think. I actually feel like that you're going to really enjoy the actual people, the job itself. And it's going to be one of those roles where every 2 seconds, it's not that you're showing off, but every 2 seconds, you're doing something, I want to say, like profound that impresses your bosses. So yeah, that's a really good thing. Okay. Um, there you go. And yeah, see, look, March seems about right as well, too, by the way, because like I said, there is going to be another role, but it's like you have to go in, and it's not so much you need to prove yourself, because that's what this card is saying. You are going to know, I don't need to prove myself. They love what I do. They very welcoming. I'm already impressing them. And that's how it's going to be. Like, as soon as you start work, they're going to be like, wow, you got through that quick. And you're going to be like, dude, I wasn't even trying. So it's going to be not only comfortable, but it's going to be that sort of a thing. And then, somebody might be away and you might have to do a little bit of extra work. And to them, it seems like, oh my God, poor Monique, she's going to struggle because everybody else does. And you're going to do it with your eyes closed, and they're going to be like, hang on, what the hell? And I can see you laughing just like at the responses that you're getting. So it's not that you have to prove yourself, it's that it really has to, they need to see what you're capable of, and you're going to show them very quickly. And it's going to be like, well, maybe she just did that as a one-off, and the constant good work that you do, they're going to be like, who is this woman? So there is that opportunity coming for you. Okay. Hang around, because I think there's only, Monique, I think there's only you and Rickard on. I can only see the number of people watching, not how many people, like who is what. Nah, all good, sweetheart. Let me do a general for Rickard, and if you then have another question, just hang around and let me know. Okay. Any insight for the week? Okay. Mate, I don't feel like that there's a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot going on, but nothing that is really you're going to really write home about. Okay, so in a sense, that's a good thing. It's expect the expected, not the unexpected. I do feel like that there's a little bit of sitting, like in my mind, I see you sitting back, and the world's just going on. It's just an ordinary every day, every week. There is a situation, I want to say like a sticky situation that you're in the process of getting through. This is the emotion card. It does normally talk about an emotional situation, but I'm not really picking up the emotion. I think it's more, well, how do I get from here to there without pissing off that person, without, it's almost like it's work related, and you're trying to work out how to get, like I said, from A to D without this person knowing, and without that person going and dobbing, and without this person stealing your idea. And that's what I feel like. There's a bit of, it's not scheming on your behalf. It's not scheming on your, it's planning out. It's, okay, I've got to do this, and I've got to do it in a way that I avoid this person finding out, and that person needs to get half the story, not the full story. It's that sort of a situation, okay? And yeah, this is your spirit guide. This is your gut instinct. This is the inner self. And as you can see, there's a lot going on around, but there's a little bit of a maze, and you've got to figure out how to get through this maze. Now, this is your spirit guide, your gut instinct. Like I said, it's going to help you go through that. So it is kind of like, just stay calm and focused, listen to your gut, and you will be able to get to do what you need to do. So it's kind of like, look, I'll give you another example. It's kind of like you're organizing a surprise party or a surprise for somebody, and that's what I mean about the scheming, and you've got to do this without this person finding out that you're getting a surprise. You've got to organize with this person to make sure the cake's delivered on time, and this person to be there to keep the other person occupied. It's all of that sort of thing. So there is that bit of planning that you've got to get through. Now, this is the sex card. This is patience and waiting. It's upside down. So, look, like I said, I see you sitting back watching this week unfold. But this is normally the patience and waiting card. It's kind of like, even though you're taking it slow, it doesn't mean that you're being patient. People think it's the same thing. It's not, okay? So being patient isn't just doing things step by step slowly. Patience is waiting for the right time, right opportunity, waiting to do something until you've got all of the information in front of you to be able to do it. Okay, so this is kind of saying, look, regardless of, at the end of the day, patience or slowly, at the moment, this is saying it doesn't matter if you're doing it. Doesn't matter what you're doing and what you're planning, it's going to turn out, it's going to be totally fine. So this is actually saying, look, you don't need to wait. You don't need to be patient. You don't need to be so secretive, because it's almost like you're going really out of your way to be so secretive. But the person that this surprise is for, hypothetically, again, like we'll use a metaphor as a surprise party, you could just say, you could just do this all behind their back. They're not going to find out. So it doesn't really matter. So you don't have to be overly secretive. You don't have to be overly patient. That's actually what this card is saying in this bit of a scenario. Now, this is a summertime card. This is rest and relaxation. This is literally saying to you, just chill out. It's all going to be fine. These castles down here in the water, they're representing your dreams, your plans, your goals. They're all going to be totally fine. So you just have to chill out, and it's, yeah, you're going to be fine. Okay. Hope that helped. I hope that made sense too. Milagros, hi, how you doing? Did you have a question for me? And Monique, if you've got another one, feel free to hit me with a question. I should specify. Oh my gosh, yes, it is so hot. It's cooled down, but I'm sitting here sweating, and I don't like sweating. I don't like the heat. I'd like to live in, like, the North Pole, Alaska, Antarctica. Okay. I was wondering if you'd be able to help me. My daughter's pet fish passed away last Friday, and she was devastated. Would she want to get another one? That's a pretty easy thing to pick up. Not a problem, Rickard. Mila, I would say yes, but not straight away. Okay. Look, yes, but not straight away. I would wait a couple of weeks and actually speak to her about it, because look, I don't know, I'm not particularly sure how old your daughter is. I'm assuming young, but there is a lesson here to teach about life to your daughter. This is a big spiritual thing, that life should be respected. And if we even though it's just a fish, if the fish dies and it's instantly replaced with another one, that impact of death and loss is hard to grasp. And then later on in her life, when the dog dies or a person dies or something like that, it's harder for them to grasp, because their initial dealings with death have just been, well, we'll just replace it with something else and keep on going. And unfortunately, we grow up with that. And when I say replace it with something else, a lot of people lose somebody and they take up drinking and stuff like that. So there is a little bit of a lesson there to be learnt. I would get another fish in a couple of weeks after speaking with her, and I'd get a different type of fish, to be completely honest. The other thing that I'm picking up for your daughter, for this specifically, is that if you just simply replace it and move on, sometimes people don't respond to the replacement at all. They're like, no, I want nothing to do with this, because it's not the original, and they don't have that ability to grieve, and they don't understand why. There's a lot to process when it comes to death, even of a fish. It's a pet, and so when they can't understand how they're feeling or whatever, they lash out and they get angry, and they, the next thing you know, that fish will be thrown out the bedroom window. So it is one of those things. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing with fish, if I was you, instead of getting her one fish, I would get her a bunch. And that way, between you and I, if any of them pass, that's when you can easily replace them without her knowing, which also makes her feel more confident. But yeah, I'd get her instead of just one solitary fish, because no matter how much you look after those fish, they don't last long, not all the time. I mean, sometimes you can have them for years, and other times you just, for whatever reason. So if you get If you get like, 10, 15 fish, maybe even different types of fish, and put it in a slightly bigger tank, she's got less of, there's more entertainment there for her, and she's got less of a way of, so I would do that. But let me just double check. Let me pull a couple of cards. Okay. Yeah, so this is a bit of waiting. Yeah, look, that did actually come out that way, but it doesn't really matter, the order. This is kind of like she's not over it yet. It's going to take a while. Like there is, this is the elderly card. This is about a bit of a time frame, so it is going to take a while. But it's also kind of, again, life and death, explaining the whole process. That's probably, and you've got to stress that, even if she accidentally killed the fish, it doesn't make her a murderer. Even if, even if she did do something wrong, which she didn't, and that's where the question comes up. I think you need to steer away from fish altogether. I would go and get her something else like a budgie, and just make sure she understands you can't let the budgie out. Because if you train a budgie right, birds are like dogs. They really are. I had a budgie that I used to play fetch with, and the bird wouldn't fly. It could, but it wouldn't. It would hop around and then, run up my leg onto my shoulder, and, So, yeah, I think there's a need to change pets there, because she's going to develop like a complex if another fish dies after 3, Okay. Okay, hope that helped. All right, well, is there anybody else that is wanting to ask a question or get a couple of cards? Because I might just go, no worries, Mila. I might just do half an hour tonight then, because it seems rather slow. I don't blame anybody because I wasn't on last week, so but not a problem. That's good. Okay, I'm going to be an auctioneer here. Going once. Anybody want a question or 3 cards? Going twice. Anybody want a question or 3 cards? Going 3 times. Ha! There we go. Monique, were you just like frantically writing then, like, no, just wait a sec, just wait. Yeah, sorry, I could feel it. I was just being a dick. Okay, do you see me coming more into my spiritual gifts over the next year? Yes. Okay, so I am going to say, I do. There are going to be times where okay, I don't specifically need cards for this. But Monique, there are going to be times where, like, you're going to feel comfortable with the new job that you end up getting. And you're going to be, okay, I'm at peace. Now, that's going to lead to general happiness. So there are going to be times where you're like, okay, well, now I'm going to sit down. I'm really going to concentrate on this or learning that or doing this. And look, you are going to have some success around it all. There is going to be improvement in what you're doing, but I actually feel like that you're not ready to fully immerse yourself in the spiritual, down the spiritual path, not for like 2 or 3 years yet, because right now it's great to be learning and to be practicing and to be doing, especially while you're feeling, yeah, I want to do this. Go ahead, do it, please. But what's going to happen is 1 week you're going to be like, yeah, let's just say, I want to learn tarot and I want to be able to pull any card from the deck and know what it means. Great. Go for it. Then the next week you're going to be like, oh, I can't be bothered with tarot. It's so, no, I want to learn more about hypnosis or dreams. And so you're going to switch to something else. There's nothing wrong with that. Go for it. And then the next week you're going to be like, no, screw this. I just want to sit on the lounge and watch TV. Again, nothing wrong with that. But what I'm trying to point out isn't so much the fact of right and wrong. There is no wrong here. It's more so that you're kind of going to be like somebody with ADHD where, something sparkly, and you're going to change your mind. And so that comes down to you're still finding yourself in life in general. And so when you're finding yourself in life in general, um, it's actually a lot harder to commit to the spiritual path and your spiritual gifts than uh, than you would expect it to be. I mean, you can sit there and learn tarot at any point in your life, but the spiritual gift, the stronger you get, and I truly depend on, I truly believe that that depends on the clearer you are with how life works and with how the universe works. And part of being clear with how life works is by going after the things that you want and being happy with what you've got, okay? And that's kind of a journey that you're still in the process. You're still finding yourself and what you want to do long term. So while you're still discovering yourself, like it's great. That's how, work with the spiritual side as well. But until you really discover yourself and know yourself inside and out, that's when I'm not saying that you won't have any success spiritual gifts until then, but what I am saying is for you personally, a time frame is when you are comfortable with who you are and what you're doing in life in general. That's when you're going to be able to translate that into improving your spiritual gifts, because the coping mechanisms that we use in life with our general problems and how we get through things in general, all of that ties into you learning your spiritual gifts and making them, knowing yourself inside and out. And look, what I'm trying to say is, with spiritual gifts, you've got to learn to follow your instinct, to trust yourself, not to second guess yourself or worry or be anxious about any of it. Like you're gonna sometimes be right, you're gonna sometimes be wrong. There's nothing you can do about that. At the end of the day, we're all human. Nobody's perfect, but you learn that through life in general. You learn that by, being confident in what you're saying and what you're doing and trusting yourself and not second guessing yourself in day to day stuff. When you've learned how to do that, that's when your spiritual side will really take off, because you've already learned that in the mundane. So then the spiritual is no problem. Okay, so I think you're going to be touching on a lot of different things over the next 12 months, spiritual wise, and it's not a waste of time. Even if you pick up a tarot book and read all the cards, and start to get familiarized with it. Okay, great. If you put that book down tomorrow and then don't pick it up for another 12 months, um, you know, it's not a bad thing, but in that 12 months from now, when you pick up that book, you're not starting from scratch. You've already put some effort into this, and so it's refreshing yourself and moving forward. So I want you to keep that in mind. Okay. But yes, there is, sorry, I'm just looking down. I feel I constantly have to put windscreen wipers on to get clarity at times. Very well said. And yeah, see, look, so this is why I'm saying, with the spiritual gifts part, I would consider yourself in a research phase, an investigation phase. Ooh, what do I look? What do I like? What do I want to be able to do? So a lot of people go straight into, I want to be able to learn tarot. As you can tell, I don't read tarot. It's a personal choice. So you might actually find that instead of reading tarot, you actually might be better reading tea leaves, which are pictures, and or you might really be into the ruin stones. It's about finding what works for you, what you're interested in. So that's where I'm like being in a phase of investigation and research at the moment. Okay. Hope that helps. Okay, Miller, a couple of cards. Hey, Nick. Yeah, no worries. That's fine. Okay, Miller, I'll give you a couple of general cards. Hope you're having fun, Nick. Okay. All right, so Miller, there is something that you need to surrender to. There is something that you need to give up at the moment. Now, this, I know we were just talking about your daughter, but there is a sort of, there is something there to do with your kids. There is, look, I want to say there is this needing to give up trying to shield them from to shield her from everything and all things bad, because that's a losing cause at the moment, okay? And look, when it comes to kids growing up, we have a tendency to lie to them and to to shield them, to protect them, and it ends up backfiring in our face, okay? So I do want to say that, if this is, like, again, hypothetically, we're talking about death here. Sit down and have a conversation around death so that she understands it and she's got a healthy understanding of it, rather than trying to shield her from it, because in the end, you're not doing yourself or her any favors. And there is something like that, okay? Now, this surrender card, I actually feel like, is tied to something or someone else that you need to give up. It's like you're waiting for a reply, a response. You're waiting for somebody to step up. There is something there. And look, I do want to say that you just have to stop waiting. You just have to give up and move on. It's not that it's not going to happen. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just, it could be that it's not happening anytime soon. But it also, more importantly, could be that you need to um it's almost like you need to be, that's it, I'm cutting the strings. I'm not just gonna sit around and wait forever for this person. That's not who I am. It's like you need to teach yourself a lesson here, that you are you're just going to move forward. Okay, so there is that surrender and giving up. Now the card here is about the ending, and it is upside down. So it is actually saying that whatever this situation that you need to give up and move forward about, it's not over and done with. It's not going anywhere. So talking about with my daughter. Sibling. Well, there you go, siblings. There is something where you need to give up and stop trying and, waiting and just move forward. And this ending card being upside down is saying that it's not going to end the relationship there between you and your siblings, or whatever. If this were romantic, it'd be saying, it's not saying that by giving up and moving forward, it's not going to happen. It's just that the lesson here is that you shouldn't have to sit around and wait for the rest of your life for somebody to wake up to themselves. That's not going to do you any good. It doesn't matter about the other person, it's about you, okay? And you need to do what's right for you, what's best for you, so you move forward. Now I've got the mind, body, and balance card here, and it is upside down. So it is saying to me that you are going through a learning phase. That's partly what this is all about, is a learning situation where you're learning more about what you're willing to take. It's kind of like you're drawing a line in the sand. That's it. I'm not, um somebody can cancel plans on me once, twice, third time, that's it. I'm done with them. It's like you're learning to come up with a formula on what you're willing to accept from other people and what you're not. Okay? And the less red flags and that you accept in people, and the less toxic behavior that you take from people, the happier you're going to be. That's just the rule of thumb. It's just common sense. But there's part of each of us, that human psychology, we're all a little broken. It's like when people are toxic to us, we hang around in order for hoping that they're going to wake up to themselves and realize and then make it amends, and that never happens. It really doesn't. It happens in like one out of a billion times. So it's more up to us about going, nah, that's it, I'm just going to concentrate on my own happiness and move forward. So this is that learning stage that you're going through at the moment. Okay. Yeah, I don't blame you. Okay, let me just, not a problem, Miller. Nick, let me just, I don't know if I switch to TikTok, if this is going to cancel the live. If it does, sorry guys, but I'm just going to check out TikTok for Nick. Just give me a sec. Cut out. All right, thanks guys. Nick, I just got your message. I just went over and read it. Sorry, I was kind of out of it today. I say no. There's no need to stop. I say continue doing what you're doing. Look, if you're getting to a stage where you're like, this is, I feel if it's as, if let's try this again. If you're getting to a state where you're feeling like your energy is deplenished, which is where I think this is coming from, like you don't have a lot of energy for all of this at the moment, that's when I would pull back, honestly, because, you that's the whole thing. You need to look after your energy levels. Now, if it's about what's out there at the moment, well, look, I'm a big believer that you know, if you, it's like looking for rental property on an app. You can only look at the same properties for so many, so long before you're like, well, there's obviously nothing that I'm happy with that's on the market at the moment. I'll have to try again in a couple of months. So there is that way of thinking. However, considering what we're talking about with the options out there, it might be it could also be, well, look at somebody that you're not look at somebody that you're not normally into or normally attracted to, or even, you know, people that you think, oh, I don't have a chance there. It could be that sort of a scenario that's going on right now. But to answer your question, if you've still got the energy to be moving ahead, then go for it. Continue. But if you are feeling down in the dumps and the energy is low and you're like, I can't be bothered, I'm not feeling positive about this, then yes, definitely take a step back, because this card here is actually talking about these plans and everything. It's upside down, so it is kind of like, look, if you're not feeling it at the moment, then, you know, put it to the side, put it off. Come back to it again in a couple weeks, couple months, whatever, whenever you feel ready. Okay, because if you do keep going and applying yourself and you're not feeling it 100%, and then there's no fish biting, that's when it's going to lead to heartache and sadness, and it's just going to kind of burrow deep inside you and be like, you know, set off all those triggers and alarms for anxiety and everything. So again, the last card here is the addiction. So it actually is like, you know, if this is becoming a problem, if it's becoming a source of, I need to check, I need to do, I need to, and you're constantly on there, and whether you're getting replies or not, if it is turning into that sort of thing, then that's where it's kind of like, well, you do need to take a step back, because it's turning more into a game, like checking the lotto, than it is really about the individual people. It becomes it's the whole social media thing. How many people liked my video? How many people watched the video? How many, you know, and that's not what the dating scene is about. So, and you know that. That's probably why you've actually asked this question. So, look, honestly, I yeah, take a week or two off. See how you're going. Let you, you've got to understand that this is going to happen in its own time. Like I keep saying, this is a learning period for you. It's a phase, you're getting stronger and all of that. But part of getting that stronger and getting that confidence is you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. Right now, you're having a down period where it's like you're feeling what you've always felt. So you're still learning, especially right now. Learning right now is, well, no, that's not the case. It's just that there's nobody there at the moment that, you know. So I'm going to take a break for it and concentrate on other things. Do you see what I mean? You're still being able to, you're still learning something. It's not so much about what you're willing to accept or not accept from other people. It's about how you're treating yourself and understanding, well, no, this is normally a trigger that brings me down. I start feeling like shit. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to focus on something else. And that's what I feel like that you need to be concentrating on, realizing at the moment. So yeah, I would take a step back for a week or two, and then go again. Yeah, when you're feeling it, If you don't feel like it for 2 months, then don't do it for 2 months. If you feel like it going again in 2 days, then go again in 2 days. As long as you're feeling it with your mind, body, and soul, and it's not just like, meh, at the moment, why not? Don't do it out of boredom or anything else. Do it out of, no, I'm genuinely feeling better, and I'm going to try again, because I feel like you're going to go through this 3 times. This is right now. Sorry. Let me clarify. You're feeling down at the moment. That's not what I'm talking about 3 times. Once you're feeling better, you're going to be like, I'm going to go again and see what's out there. That'll be round 2. I feel like there will be a round 3, and round 3 will be when you really know yourself, and you'll really know each other. Okay. All right, guys. I hope that helped. I'm going to call it there. Because it is rather slow and I am so hot. I want to go and have a shower. But I'll be back next week, same time, hopefully with more people. But I hope it helped, guys. Blessed be.